Hey there guys, so I have a package. What this is actually shocked me as much as it'll shock you, so let's get into it. So, here we go. It really shocked me as much as it's going to shock you. As you can tell by the title, this is it. So, before we start unboxing this thing, I want to talk to you about what OTG actually is. So, I want to start out with USB OTG because I want you to know exactly what it is before you start messing around with it on your phone, thinking that it could harm your phone, do damage. No, it can't. I'm going to be reading here from Wikipedia what USB OTG is. Now, OTG stands for on the go. Now, they do abbreviate it to OTG or USB OTG because it was first used in late 2001. I don't know a lot about the history of it. I know what it does, I just don't know the history of it. It allows USB devices such as tablets or smartphones to act as a host, allowing other USB devices such as USB flash drives, digital cameras, mice, or keyboards to be attached to them. Now I'm going to show you some of these things I can do on the LG Aristo, what ones can actually be attached to the Aristo. Now the use of OTG allows those devices to switch back and forth between the roles of host and device. For instance, a mobile phone may read from removable media as the host device to present itself as the USB master storage device when connected to a computer. Like when you plug your phone into a computer, you can browse the files, or when you plug your SD card into your phone, you can view the files of the SD card. All this cable really does is allows you to use your phone like you would plug your phone into the computer and browse the files from there. All that is it makes it into another USB port. Now, in other words, USB OTG introduces the concept of a device performing both master and slave roles. Whenever two USB devices are connected and one of them is an OTG USB device, they establish a communication link. The device controlling the link is called a master or host, while the other is called the slave or peripheral. So if you've ever used or seen anything that had to do with any Mac videos or some Windows videos, you'll see peripherals or accessories. I've seen a lot of people refer to them as peripherals. I just refer to stuff as accessories, but this is the accessory to your phone, and the thing that connects to this is your peripheral, which is basically like the Mac where you have to have dongles. This is basically a dongle, but instead of for the Mac, it's for your phone. And standard USB uses a master-slave architecture, or host as a master, all that. Basically, the standard USB uses all the stuff that was explained in the beginning. So, it's part of USB OTG is part of a supplement to the Universal Serial Bus, or just USB 2.0. When USB 2.0 was announced, that was when the specification originally agreed upon in late 2001 and later revised. So it's part of the USB 2.0 specification originally agreed upon. So that's when you were allowed to have it. So the latest version of the supplement also defined behavior for an embedded host, which has targeted abilities in the same USB standard A port used by PC. So it requires a lot of thinking, but in just the standard terms, USB OTG is just there on a phone for you to be able to browse your I don't know why they'd have it on the phone specifically, but it's a cool feature to have, especially on a $60 phone, $100 phone, $144, however much you're buying this for. The $400 to $800 phones are the ones that have it nowadays, or even back when phones were $400 to $800 still. So these are the phones back in 2000, and whenever the Galaxy S4, I forget when that came out. Whenever that came out, there was USB OTG on that. I don't know when USB OTG was used on phones, but when the when the S4 came out, it cost about $200 on a plan, or $400 to $600 on a non-plan. So if you're getting the S4, it would have cost you about, if you're applying it off plan, it would cost you about $600, unless you got lucky. So if you were just buying the S4, that one was like $600. That was like a high-end device. Then it came to all the rest of the stuff. $350 for the Nexus 4 at the time, when, as far as I can think back. Nexus 5 was like $350, $400. So it really just dated back to around that time, I think. The M7 had it. What else? There was a bunch of different devices that had it at that time. But as far as I can think, OTG is good on tablets of any kind. So if you have a Android tablet and it has a micro USB slot, so you would pick up one of these. Like, let's say you didn't want to spend like a bunch of money on a keyboard, you can buy yourself one of these for like $4, and a keyboard with a wireless keyboard with a dongle to plug in for about like $5 if you really want to, depending on where you're going to get it and how good it is. Now, the latency, like the speed of responsiveness, like how many milliseconds it takes for it to read your file, like maybe 2 milliseconds, 1 millisecond. Now, it's not going to be too noticeable unless you're actually, it's going to be like just as noticeable as if you're going to be taking up a computer and using it. But it's going to be it's not going to be as noticeable unless you're unless you're typing something or using a mouse. So if you're typing something or using a mouse, you'll notice if the latency is bad. But on new devices, I would say the LG Aristo and all the devices from now and from last year and the year before, these are not going to have the latency. I've tested all this out before, and well, let's just get into this some more with the uses you can do on the LG Aristo. Now, for my testings, you can't plug in an external hard drive, so if you have one with movies on it, I would say, I'm sorry, it didn't work with this cable I have here. Links will be down below for it, but now we're going to get into the cool uses on the LG Aristo. Okay, so what I have here is all the accessories that'll work. I have the mouse, I have the USB thumb drive, and I have a keyboard, and then I have the cable I need and the phone. So let's just start out with the flash drive. This is a SanDisk cruiser dialed upside down, 32 gigabytes, just a standard little pen drive. Opens up, you can plug it in, transfer files back and forth. Great for school, I did a video on that. Blah blah blah, let's get into this thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in here just to make it simple. But the two apps I recommend for this is the built-in app for sure, the built-in one, the file manager built in, and then I recommend one, if I can find it, called ES File Explorer for this. It's called ES File Explorer, and this is the one I recommend. So you plug this in, and since I have ES File Explorer built in, it'll open up to it since I accepted it already. It says USB drive is mounted. Now when you go into the settings of the phone, I need to clear some of the notifications, but if you go into the settings, you go down till you get to storage, and underneath you find USB drive. Now that is it, so you can click on it. It'll open up in the basic storage there, and then the other way you can look at it is either through the ES File Explorer or straight from File Manager. So if I go into File Manager, I can click that, I go to USB storage, and this is it. So I can click SD card settings over here. That'll just bring up the SD card for some reason, even though I'm on USB. So I have show hidden files on, even though there are none. So I have all this. As you can see, I can browse my files, can open up folders, all that other stuff. And then when I want to, I can go back into the settings. I can go right back down till I see the storage again. As you can see, it says now 64 gigs altogether because of the 30 gig. But I can click like this, it says ejecting, and then it should show once I do that USB drive has been ejected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this. Now we're going to go right on to the mouse. Now, this is a wireless mouse, runs off of two AAAs. I did a video on this one. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking this. First, I'm going to turn this on just so I have it on. And I'm going to be plugging this in. No, unplug this now. I'm going to plug this in here. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's plugged in. So, I have everything right here. I'm going to show the bottom here. Mouse has been connected, and up top it shows a mouse symbol. So now, what I can do is, if I go like this, and I sort of zoom in on the phone, just so you can see a little bit more, you can see when I move around like this. I'm going to click to turn on the mouse. There we go, the mouse is on, as you can see here. I can go back, I can go home, and if you see it says 30.83, there's no flash drive, it doesn't work as a flash drive. So I can go like this, it works. It's very responsive. I can scroll, and if I really want to, I can probably browse the web through it too. I can go over here. Oh, my phone just moved. I wonder what it was. So I can actually scroll down like this. It's not really working for me. So you can see I'm going to turn on battery saver just because, as you can see, when I go over something, I can go up. Now what I can also do is I can go into my music here. I can scroll down. I can click like this. I can turn the volume down. I can turn the volume up. Now, what I have realized is that the left clicker, the right clicker acts as a back button, and the middle button acts as the another OK button. So I can't really activate. I don't know how to activate the multitasker or whatever this thing here from it. But now I'm going to turn this off, and I'm just going to disconnect the mouse. First, I will zoom out a little bit. I'm going to disconnect the mouse, and you will see down here, the mouse has been disconnected, and that doesn't show up. So that is the mouse part of this, and now we're going to go on to the keyboard. Now the keyboard is a little bit different because this one has a long wire because it's meant for my computer. I did a video on this one too, if you want to check out my channel to see it. It's a nice keyboard, that's for sure. So what I'm going to do is when I plug this in, I will show you what it shows. So it shows right here. The keyboard has been connected. It shows the keyboard symbol up there. So this one is particularly good for setups that require heavy usage, like whatchamacallit keyboard, a tablet, for example. Now, if I zoom in here, I will show you some of the cool features. I'm going to move the computer over. So, first things first is I will show you that it does work. I'm going to press the caps lock button. Now I'll press the scroll lock button. But now I'm just going to turn them off because I hate the light. Now that the light's off, now the cool feature for this is where you can use the arrow buttons, the enter button. I assume you can use the space button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to Google Keep here. As you can see, there is that square. It looks green on mine, so the space works too. So to take a note, I can't just start. I don't know if I can just start. Nope. I can't just start typing, but I will show you something. If I go all the way down here, I'm gonna have to. Oh, I don't have anything interesting. So I scroll down here, and when I scroll down all the way down to my notifications, I will find. Okay. So it says right here, change keyboard LG system. So I'm gonna click on it. Since I have the internal keyboard plugged in, I just click that. I can turn that right off if I need to. But that is actually pretty cool because Now that I have this right here, I can make it that it shows, or it doesn't show the keyboard, so just for the heck of it, really. So don't show on-screen keyboard. So I'm going to type the okay, I'm going to do it again. Okay, this is just an awkward position to type, but as you can see, T-E-S-T-T-E-S-T. Hello. Subscribe and like and comment and follow on MY. Social media links in description. So I spelled most of that wrong, but as you can see, there is no latency. I can do shift. I can do all of the regular commands. So if I go like this, backspace, now when I unplug it, it just says keyboard disconnected, and it pops up with that again. So I go like this, I can close it. So that is the keyboard function. So that is basically everything. If you did find this to be interesting, please rate, comment, subscribe. As always, give it a thumbs up and enjoy the rest of your day.